All right, so is it still legal to have a small protest like this?
Like it's the current
lockdown? Yeah. It's not. It's not.
I mean, a small protest.
Well, whatever it is we're doing, yeah.
Whatever, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're basically you're not looking to arrest anyone at the moment, are you?
I think the last thing on my mind is to arrest someone, but I think from a safety point of view, I think for all concerned, I wouldn't want anyone to get the virus unwillingly by coming onto this protest, would you? You wouldn't want to spread the virus around the protesters, would you? No, would you want to spread the virus around the protesters?
But that's a separate issue because basically.
No, that is the issue, though, isn't it? That is the issue. Because.
So you think it's okay to suspend our civil liberties because of a health issue?
Well, it's not me, is it?
No. I'm saying not saying you are. I'm not saying you are. I'm just asking. I'm asking your opinion. Yeah. But that's basically what the government are doing. And I'm saying you think that the health issue trumps our civil liberties. Is that what you're saying?
I think ultimately we've got to get through this together, haven't we? As a country.
So what I'll say is, you know what? Early on, even though I am bang in favour of European Convention of Human Rights, civil liberties, and all that.
Yeah.
When it first started, I was like, okay, I don't agree with it, but I'm going to go along with it.
Yeah.
And that was a real crisis, and that was unexpected, unknown.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think that now it's like a year later, and they haven't even come up with any like specific targeted plans to actually help out the old people that are dying anyway.
Well, things are moving forward, aren't they? The vaccines have been rolled out now. They estimate that all adults in the UK by July.
All adults.
Oh, you're right. Could be vaccinated by July. So that's a good sign, isn't
all
it?
adults.
I read that. That's an article I read this morning. So things are on the up. We've got to be optimistic about it, haven't we? Hopefully the end's in sight.
My personal opinion. Yeah.
Go on.
I think that basically by having a response that's like the entire population. It's like. You're relying on people like me. The health of the nation relies on people like me to try my best. Now, I will try my best, but I've got no training. I'm not getting paid. I'm not on the clock. It's like you want to be relying on experts, on professionals. And it's like having health and having a response that relies on basically untrained, lazy, incompetent, and ill-informed people like myself is not going to get you the best response. Also, I think that the lockdown is broad-based. It's not focused. It's not targeted. You've spent an awful lot of money. 400 billion has costed the country over here. You pay for free NHSs with that.
Oh God.
It's like why not target that? Why not target those resources, whatever your resources are, target them at the most vulnerable. It's like they're testing kids in school, and I just think like that's not actually going to save any lives because since the 1st of December, only 2 people aged 19 or under have died within 28 days of a coronavirus test. During that same time, something like 13,000 people 65 or older are. It's like, so why are you testing people that young? It's like that'll only save lives by tangentially. Because maybe that person might then pass on to someone, And I think that basically they've gone for an incredibly expensive, incredibly costly way to like and it's and they haven't looked at any other options when they had the opportunity of when they started lifting the restrictions in the summer. They could have had some kind of public inquiry to investigate what went wrong.
So you put yourself, you're the PM, you're the Prime Minister. How would you have combated this problem?
So number one, I wouldn't have had my crony mates in it. I wouldn't have made SAGE consisted of all my crony mates. I would have isolated the elderly and vulnerable a lot earlier. Before the first lockdown. If I had to,
do you think they were a bit slow to react in the first lockdown?
I think that they. I remember the debate about a few weeks before the lockdown started. When it was debating over whether they could basically isolate the over 70s or whatever. And they didn't do it. And I was just like, that is crazy. It's like what you do is you do everything possible so you don't have to go into lockdown. The lockdown should be the very, very, very last resort, and it seemed to be like the only option. Also, they could. So even if you're going into lockdown, I held my hands up. I was like, all right, whatever. I don't like it, but whatever. You could have had some kind of committee to judge how well it's going. There's been no review on it. We don't even know why, if, or how it's working, if it is working. Because there's been no review on it.
No.
There's been no oversight on SAGE. They're relying on statistical models where they're checking their own homework. I mean, anyone who could come up with a statistical model could justify anything they want, can't they? And so I think that, and there are potentially other options which they have not pursued and have not looked into at all. There's something called the Great Barrington Declaration, which is a bunch of doctors and moderate people who are looking into other options. But they aren't conspiracy theorists. You can check them up on the internet if you want. Anyway, I just wanted to check that with you.
No, okay. I mean, ultimately, like I said, it's beyond our control. You and I, my colleague, it's beyond our control, isn't it? And I think we've just got to work with what we've got now. Hopefully, the end's in sight.
You know what? If they gave me an end date, and they said, because basically I'm looking for anything that would end the lockdown, and I'll happily compromise, If they said, look, tight lockdown until mid-February, and then once we've got the high-risk people vaccinated, then we'll lift it. You know what? I'll give up this. I'll give up this. But because there is no end date, there's no end date, there's no review, there's no oversight, there's no peer review. It's like, and let's face it, the government and SAGE have got total control over, even aspects of our lives we never dreamed that anyone would have control of in this country. You don't want to be going house to house checking they haven't got more. We don't. And it's a lot of extra work. You don't, and it gives you a bad reputation. No one wants to be doing that, and while that's the case, I feel like just for the sake of it, I've got to turn up to this once a week.
I mean, ultimately, mate. At the end of the day, you've got your cause, and I understand why you're doing what you want to do. Hopefully the end's in sight. And whilst they can't be giving it,
I retired from protesting. I was more about helping out the trees at this time last year. I just came out just because I feel like there's no balance on the other side. There's no kind of when they have debates on it in the BBC. There's no case to be made for any other option other than this most highly costly, so unbelievable. It's like I've seen people share that thing about test and trace costs 12 billion. Well, what a waste. I'm like, what about the 400 billion? Anyway, thank you very much, guys.
No problem. All the best. Take care.
Thank you.